PSLF waiver and the IDR waiver that was just announced. So the IDR waiver is what I'm be talking about. I want to compare that though to the PSLF waiver because the PSLF waiver has been around for a little bit longer, since October of 2021. This just got announced April 19th of 2022. The IDR waiver is really designed to try to get as many people forgiveness as fast as possible before the end of the year, before the pandemic related emergency authorities expire. So what we're kind of thinking about for this is we think that, this is an attempt by the administration to try to get millions of borrowers relief as fast as possible before all these pandemic related flexibilities end. So what's going on with the IDR waiver? They are basically saying any payment plans count, that you can get credit before consolidations that were done, and that periods of forbearance that are more than 12 months consecutive or more than 36 months aggregate could also be added to your IDR credit towards forgiveness. That's a huge deal. So if you think about, there's 4.4 million people that have paid for more than 20 years. Think about how all those people could get credit added to their forgiveness state and potentially get their entire balance forgiven all at once. So we're seeing right now if that's actually what's going on. But if it is, then that means that you could be looking at, what's 4 million borrowers out of 43 million, that's 10%. So you say 10% of 1.7 trillion, that's like $170 billion. That's a lot of benefit that potential borrowers could be getting. So people that have direct loans or FFEL loans owned by the Department of Education would get this benefit basically automatically. But people that are have FFEL commercially owned student loans, which is loans that did not benefit from the payment and interest pause that still show up on studentaid.gov, those loans would probably need to be consolidated to get access to this. And you have to do that before this new deadline of January 1st, 2023, which is, not that far away. And so I think that they're trying to rush this through to try to get relief to as many people. And then I think that the plan is to announce like a big, generous new IDR plan in August, with that being the solution to get borrowers back into repayment. And then they're going to be quiet about repayment starting again. And I think the plan is to get repayment starting again after the end of this IDR waiver, which would be basically when the new Congress kind of gets sworn in about January 3rd of 2022. So this IDR waiver is a big freaking deal. Like, I think we're talking about potentially as much as $100 to $200 billion that Department of Ed might be trying to cancel with this program all before the end of the year. And if it's not forgiven right away, the goal is to get so much IDR credit added to people's profiles that it can't be undone by a future administration or a future Department of Education. So that's what we're trying to figure out right now for you, is figure out what are the action steps you need to take. How can we identify how much forbearance or deferment credit that you might have that might get added to your student loans? How the best take advantage of this? If this is what's going to happen from a policy perspective, what action steps do you need to take to get more credit towards IDR forgiveness? This is also a negative for people hoping for broad-based student loan cancellation. This is basically the administration saying, well, we're going to take these targeted specific actions that are going to result in a ton of forgiveness to a specific narrow group of people, even though if it's a very broad group of people, right? 4 million people is a lot of people, right? It's just not 43 million. And I think that they're telegraphing too, if you look very carefully at the press release and statements that people have made, especially congressional leaders. Senator Murray and Representative Scott, the two chairs of the education committees in the House and Senate, basically said that, they say we want it extended until at least 2023, but then they also called on the Department of Education to get basically early authorization to ramp up the new IDR plan by December. Now, why would you do that? Because you could have it be, you could have it installed by July, because you have to get the plan submitted by, I think it's November, to get it put into place by July. And so why would they be trying to do it early? Because I think that that's the plan, is they're going to try to restart payments basically when the new Congress gets installed. And they're just going to try to get as much through these waiver programs in terms of cancellation possible for the next 7 months. And it's just going to be just a madhouse of people applying for forgiveness programs and just having to follow these rules and figure out what the heck's going on. So we're going to try to do as best we can for you. If you could share just this knowledge with people that don't know this, share with people that they need to be paying attention, particularly people that have had their loans for a long time. So if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, people that age, certainly need to be paying attention to this. And there might be huge planning opportunities for this IDR waiver, like consolidating loans with different numbers of payment counts, like we did with the PSLF waiver, to get additional months of credit added to the new consolidated loan. So we're going to be monitoring this stuff. If you have any questions, hit us up on our social platforms and check out studentloanplanner.com, as well as the Student Loan Planner podcast, where we're going to talk about this more regularly with more common updates, more frequent updates with what's going on with all this. So what a time to be alive as a student loan consultant trying to figure out all the stuff. Thank you so much for supporting Student Loan Planner, and please share our info with your friends so they don't get left behind with all these forgiveness opportunities.